was an uppercut that started the whole thing.
From long range, no less, which is not where you normally throw that punch. And there's Michael Bentt, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad working with him. We'll take a look at it, and we'll see where it happened. Now, holding and hitting is what Hyde was guilty of there, but he got away with it, and that was the punch that started it all for Michael Bentt. So it's interesting, an illegal maneuver, but it worked for Herbie Hyde.
Boy, was it holding and hitting.
It was the most blatant kind you can have. But nevertheless, it hurt Michael Bentt, and once he got him hurt, he really went after him. And at this point, I'll tell you what, Bentt was in danger of having this fight stopped.
Yeah, because he almost turned his back on him, and usually when a fighter turns his back, he's done. Bentt is still in trouble. He still does not have strong legs. Fourth round. It has been owned by Herbie Hyde. Starts him off with a left hook. Drives Bentt into the ropes immediately. Bentt is still in trouble.
And you know what, Barry? Michael Bentt has been, he's waving Hyde on, but that's just bravado. He has been a boxer before. Where are his legs? Normally, he would be using his legs to get out of there during this time.
And he was unable to get out of the corner in the last round, and he doesn't appear to be able to get off the ropes here. Big right hand again by Hyde. Bentt takes another right hand.
He's getting hit with everything.
And now a little blood from the nose, but that's the least of his problems.
The Hyde jab has been the key here. Herbie Hyde's jab, better than I think anyone that has only seen a few clips of him, as I have, would have expected him to be.
Boy, and Bentt is just a target. I mean, he just can't get out of his own way right now. Tried the uppercut. Was a little short with that one. Bentt still has no legs.
There has been, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 effective jabs from Michael Bentt in this bout, and let me tell you, you can go to the bank on that being the main reason why he has been so ineffective here.
Hyde in the last round, 36 of 64. It was a huge round for him, and he backs Bentt up again. And the jab again working beautifully for Hyde.
Finally, Bentt working and a lot of holding.
And a headbutt also.
Well, Hyde's complaining, but if you had to pick which man has used more illegal tactics, it's Hyde in this fight. Bentt just walking in. There isn't even a hint of a jab.
Bentt's really puffing, too. And again, just walking in.
He's been clobbered. There's the jab from Bentt. That's what he needs. Instead, he just stands there. And when he throws the jab, it's not the kind of Michael Bentt jab we've seen in a couple of fights. It's a pawing jab.
Right hand by Bentt, but it was a wild right hand.
Something's wrong with Hyde there on the rope.
Yes, he just doubled over.
Tell you what Herbie Hyde does, too. He throws that uppercut from so far back. You should be able to hit him with the left hook when he does that. And that's the punch that started the problems for Bentt.
Coming to the end of round 4. Again, a round that Herbie Hyde wins, despite a good left hand at the bell. It is.
And as long as Hyde can fight from the outside like this, and Bentt doesn't jab, it'll be his fight as long as he doesn't tire. Herbie Hyde's jab has been spectacular. Now, Michael Bentt has helped him because he stood straight up, no head movement, not slipping any, and been an inviting target. But nevertheless, Hyde has made the most of that opportunity.
There's Hyde grabbing again. Here are the totals through 4 rounds, and it's just no contest.
Yeah, Herbie Hyde landing 61% of his punches. I mean, that's an absurd amount to be landing against a guy who was champion.
Hyde hit him with a left hand, and Bentt's in trouble again, and another good left hand, and Bentt is just about gone. Hyde with a right to the head. Bentt will cover up again. Hyde another right to the head.
Bent was putting his hand on the rope. He was waving to Hyde to come in. Herbie Hyde is showing tremendous smarts here. He is not being lured in where he can be counterpunched. He's picking his spots to land punches against Michael Bent.
But Michael Bent just looks like he has no legs, and he's looked like he's had no legs since the second round.
And I'll tell you what, you have got to ask yourself very strongly, did Michael Bent condition himself for this fight sufficiently?
Well, you know, I've been thinking the same thing. I thought maybe he looked a little soft, and I hate to say that because, very frankly, I don't remember what he looked like the last time I saw him. But for a guy who came in 2 pounds under what he was the last time, he doesn't look it.
He has been unable to move, and even before he got hurt, and when he got hurt, for sure, he could have shown some of the movement. We even saw it in the Mark Wills fight where he could box a little bit, move around. And in his younger days, especially as an amateur, he was very much a superb boxer in terms of movement and the jab and all the rest. And maybe he felt he was a puncher after the Morrison thing, and boy, he found out otherwise, didn't he?
And Hyde's really picking him with the jab, too. Hyde's doing everything right.
And when you're not pressured, as Hyde hasn't been too much, you can do this. And he's showing just enough movement to make Bent follow him around.
Coming to the end of the 5th round, this for the WBO Heavyweight Championship. The fight has been owned by Herbie Hyde.
That I think would shock any boxing observer, even given that Michael Bent still may be somewhat of an unknown quantity after the Morrison fight and unproven. Still, this is surprising.
And look at the jabs through the first 5 rounds, Al.
Boy, Herbie Hyde with 66 out of 107 landed. Bent with only 22 of 57. And more importantly is that Bent's only thrown 57 jabs.
And Herbie Hyde landed 36 of his 44 punches, not just jabs, punches in the last round. That's 82%. Is he doing what he wants?
I guess. Now, just for a moment there was a smidge of movement from Michael Bent. What a different fight this would be and could be if he would just move a little. And there, look, there's a jab. I mean, it's strategically, Michael Bent came in fighting an awful fight, just plotting after Herbie Hyde, not using the skills that he has. Whether that was the design, I don't know. And whether they expected Herbie Hyde to be this much of a boxer and this elusive, I don't know. But nevertheless, strategically, Michael Bent made problems for himself also.
Herbie Hyde giving Michael Bent just enough different looks.
Exactly, Barry. That is exactly it. Just enough movement so that Bent can't get set to throw the jab in a straight right hand.
Now he's going downstairs, which he hadn't done before either.
And, you know, he's doing it in a small ring. I mean, Herbie Hyde's doing it in a ring that's not more than 20 feet, I don't think. And Bent still can't cut the ring off on him. See, look at how that right hand misses.
And Bent's still following him around.
There were a lot of scenarios that people thought of for this fight. I don't know if this was one of them. Herbie Hyde staying at long range, outboxing Michael Bent, and hurting him to boot. Maybe portions of that might have been included, but not all of it. He has reduced Bent now to lunging with the right hand and missing.
Took a left hook, did Bent. Uh-oh, and his shoulder just popped. Herbie Hyde's shoulder just popped. You might have heard him